Hello family, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. Man, I feel like I need a haircut. Your boy need a haircut to look a bit fresh. Anyway, today I'm gonna talk to you about finance in marriage, and I'll cover 5 points, 5 to 6 points in my video today. So I encourage you to grab a pen and paper to write this down. So before I cover those 5 points, one thing I'll just have to mention is I appreciate a lot of people who watch the marriage video. If you haven't watched it, please remember to check in my description. I'm gonna put the link in there. There's good wisdom in that video, so I encourage you to watch that video and consider to subscribe on this channel because we're gonna be covering a lot of these topics to help one another and uplift one another. So when we talk about finance, it's an individual thing. Everyone have their own financial system that works in their family, and if that is working for you, definitely continue doing that. And if it doesn't work for you, maybe you might consider trying some of my tips. Finance is a big thing that causes a lot of breakups and divorce in marriages. So that's why I decided to do this video. Another thing is who pay for the bills, who pay for what. That also is something that you and your wife or husband need to sit down and talk about it. As for me, myself, my wife and I, when early in our marriages, we used to split our bills because we were both in a good job, we were both working, and we used to split our bills. But when my wife started to have maternity leave and start having children, we decided that it's better that I start to cover all the bills, and then my wife will just save the money for other stuff, the family saving. That way we don't have to keep on changing bank accounts for bills and things like that. So a few of the tips that I'm gonna share with you regarding finance in marriage is, first thing first, you need to talk about finance from the beginning. As soon as you are dating someone, it's something that you need to talk about. A lot of people really get so uncomfortable with these things, to talk about finance or to talk about to talk about finance or money in general. People get really scared, or they feel like it's not necessary, but it's very important to start talking about your finance and your status from beginning. This means you need to talk to your partner or your girlfriend about how much they're making, what is the 5 years vision, your 5 years goals, what job they're doing. All these things you need to start talking to your partner, to your girlfriend, while are you still together and while are you still dating, because the earlier you start talking to each other about this, the easier it's gonna be when you get married. Tip number 2, this is for my this is gonna be more for the male, and I'm going to say that, please, when you are dating some of our sisters, make sure you don't go and borrow money or borrow a car or borrow clothes or borrow a suit, or taking your girlfriend to an expensive dinner or to an expensive restaurant, or taking your girlfriend to an expensive date, all to just trying to impress them or trying to win them over. Don't do that. I insist again. Don't go borrow money that you don't have, or don't go and act or like you are a big person, or you've got so much money to impress your girlfriend. Be yourself. Make sure you tell your partner, you tell your girlfriend that you are dating, your financial status, and make sure you go to date to a place where you can afford. Don't just go to an expensive dinner to try to win or impress the girl. Tip number 3, if you both working and you both understanding your financial status, make sure you live within your budget. Don't go and live big when you can't afford. That's when you see a lot of people go into debts. You go into loans, and then it become a big stress to your marriage, and you end up divorcing because you are trying to live big and to show yourself that you've got so much when you don't have. So make sure you live in your budget. Make sure you are not spending or showing off with buying expensive things that you can't afford and put yourselves in debt. Tip number 4, make sure you have a family bank account. So you can have a saving account for that you can all access. So you can see how much you save. At the same time, even though you've got a joint account, you still need to have your own individual separate bank account. So when you have your own money that you get paid from work, then you know how much is allocated to what. Don't go and like be controlling and say, oh, only me or only the men are the one who have to have the bank account. No, or they're the one who only have to have the money in the account. Both of you, if you're working, make sure you're keeping your money, but you both have like mortgages or offset accounts that you all can access and you can all see, and you can all have to allow each other to withdraw. To be responsible. So not only one person can withdraw. It has to be like a joint account where you both have to come to an agreement to do any transaction and things like that. So you don't want to be like relying on your husband, going and asking money to your husband, or husband doesn't have to be asking money to their wife. So you still need to have your own individual bank account and be responsible with the money that you're getting from your work. And then tip number 5 is more based on my African brothers. I find a lot of our African brother or Congolese brother, which in our tradition, the man is the one who will provide for the family. So you see a lot of my African brother or Congolese, they don't encourage their wife to work because they wanna be the provider, which is a good thing if you can do that. If you know you can go to work and be the main provider of your family, it's great. But if you're gonna just tell your wife to not work and stay at home for that ego of saying that, oh, I'm the provider, but down behind the scene you are stressing, you are not happy, you're always cranky towards your kids or towards your wife, or complain about money, I encourage you to let your wife go and find a job and work, because it's even written in the Bible, 2 are better than 1. If you work together as a team and let your wife go and work, she'll also bring money, and you find yourself doing so much thing and having a bit of financial freedom when there's more than one income coming in the family. So I encourage you, drop your ego and let your wife work and see how much difference it will make in your family. But if you are capable of paying all the bills, go for it. My final tip is you need to both be respectful and kind and loving toward each other, because money is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing as well if you prioritize it too much, because money is what sells Jesus. Money killed Jesus on the cross. So make sure you're both respectful and loving towards that money, and talk to each other and communicate again in a marriage. That's why I'm insisting, communicate and remember to compromise. So if you want to buy something that you know that at the moment you can't afford, talk about it and meet halfway. So I hope these tips will help you. I hope you will implement it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.